All right, everybody. Well, my name is Adrienne Montgomery. I'm with ERP VAR. Thanks again for joining us. We really appreciate you spending your time with us today. We're going to be talking about Sage 100, customer web portal, and payments. And a couple housekeeping notes for those who just joined. If you note on your webinar pane, there's a hand button, a question mark button. If you click on that question mark button, a dialog box will open up where you can go ahead and key in your questions. We'll reserve the announcing of those questions until the end of the webinar. And we're just so pleased that you are joining us today. So happy to be joined by Maya Green. He's the SVP ERP Sales over at Fortis. Fortis is a payments company. Robert Ullman will be joining Maya and presenting their integrated payments for Sage 100, ERP sales consultant, and Maya is the SVP ERP Sales. Raphael is an account executive over at CertaPro, and Nick Young, senior ERP consultant at CertaPro. And thank you all for being here with us as well. Fortis, just a little bit about the companies here, is a leading provider of integrated payment technology. They serve mostly North American merchants. They're differentiated because they've built strong relationships with multiple platform providers. So they're not just a one solution. They look at the unique needs of the individual customers and recommend the best solution for that particular customer environment. They have a broad suite of those solutions that they can choose from. They definitely have strong APIs with the Sage 100 system. And it's great because when you call their support, it's always US-based support. And they have a diversified network of Sage partners and alliances that they've, like the one with CertaPro, but many VARs and other integrated software vendors that enhance Sage 100 that they've built over 25 years, developing relationships. So they really want to help their customers succeed and grow. CertaPro is based in Los Angeles. They're a leader in integrating Magento e-commerce web stores with Sage 100. Their product is called eLink, and it's a two-way connector that handles the connection points for business partner portals and customer portals into Sage 100 using the Magento technology. And they have a team of Sage certified developers, consultants, technicians, CPAs, and programmers with over 20 years of experience enhancing the Sage 100 product line. So a little bit about the workflow today. We're going to be talking about e-commerce and payments and how the two integrate with Sage 100. And I'm going to go ahead and hand it over. Maya will be sharing his screen, and Rob will be taking us through the first introductory slides. Thank you, Rob.
Fantastic, great. Yeah, just wanted to start with this first slide, and thank you, Adrian, and once again, thanks everybody for jumping on the call. Good morning if you're on the West Coast, and I hope you had a lovely lunch if you're on our coast, East Coast or Central. Once again, just want to start with this slide. It just shows the depth we have of our integrations. 50, 100 ERP, Sage 300s, 500 X3, Sage Intacct. We either support or have direct integrations into all of these. So if you migrate from 100 or to Intacct or move within the Sage family, we can support you. A little bit about us. Who is Fortis? Right there, Fortis is a leading provider of integrated payment solutions. That just means we're a team of industry experts. We have thousands of customers utilizing our integrated payments platforms to process both credit card and ACH transactions, all from within your ERP. Multiple platforms. We can help you with web, phone orders, face-to-face, swipe transactions, and once again, all integrated within your existing software. And we also offer mobile payments that you can utilize an iPhone, or a tablet. And an important factor is we own our own gateway. So we are able to customize on the fly should a customer of ours need something. provide a suite of end-to-end payment solutions, mentioned that already, and we work with a multitude of partners and alliance partners, and we want to become your go-to integrated payments consultant. As Adrian mentioned, even if we don't have the solution for you, we'll get you with somebody that will be able to help you. Skipped one, but I'll go back into, here's some perks. Payment facilitation. Adrian mentioned API connections. Our product comes with a free virtual terminal. Once again, mobile payments. Our boarding process is super easy. We send an e-application to you. It can all be done online. No need to print everything out, sign it, and fax it back to us. And we have custom solution enhancements because we own our own gateway. What differentiates us? Once again, Fortis, we own our own gateway. That's really important. Some of our competitors utilize somebody else's gateway. We have cloud EMV, meaning you can do chip cards over the cloud. We have click to pay or quick invoices. You can send an email to your customers, the customer directly from Sage 100. The customer can click on that email and pay you directly, and it will go back into Sage 100 as a paid invoice. You can give your customers their own custom portal where the customer can put in their credit card or ACH information. A lot of customers like that now because it just helps with the PCI compliance. They're putting their information in, they're not sharing it over the phone. Some other things we have, text to pay, that's gateway only. Surcharging and cash discounting, another big thing with the cost of credit cards. Once again, gateway only. We can help you with a hosted payments page. You can put a pay now button on any of your websites. We work with all the wallets, Apple Pay, Google Pay, and a biggie here, our gateway, once again, we own our own gateway. We provide full interchange optimization, meaning we will qualify your business for the best rates you guys can get from Visa and MasterCard. And coming soon, two biggies, buy now, pay later, and cryptocurrency. And I'll hand it off to Maya Green, the SVP for ERP.
Perfect. Thank you, Rob.
You're welcome.
So we're going to go off the beaten path a little bit, guys. I know usually we show, a demo on these things, and we're happy to do that. We're happy to set up anybody with a live demo if they'd like to see it. But a couple of things that we really want to push. We want to kind of point out some gotchas, some tips and tricks, and kind of help on what to look for, right? So one thing to think about when you think about Fortis is we are an extension of your business. We want to be the payments arm of your business. If you're a partner, we want to be the payment arm of your business and help out any client that we can. So what we do is we offer a guarantee. The Fortis guarantee is that we will support you or any of your clients at no charge, even if you're not our client. That means even if you haven't set up a merchant account with us, direct or indirect, we're happy to help, right? You always want to work with a payments consultant that knows your industry and is willing to support that business. We've done probably 7,500 Sage installs, and the majority of those have been Sage 100. So there's not much that we haven't been through when you're talking about Sage 100. And we call it payments consulting more than, being a payment provider, being the typical payments guy or gal, right? When you're a consultant, you're basically helping out. What we found is if you are a consultant, which most VARs consider themselves, consultants in their industry, you have the heart of a teacher, generally a neutral party, and we help find efficiencies, savings, and gotchas that others don't, which is kind of why we're talking about this instead of showing you the live demo that would normally go on. And then, most consultants, whether it's payments or VAR or otherwise, offer multiple options for you to consider, because it's about what's best for the business, not what's best for the consultant. we're going to talk about some important pieces today that most people don't think about, and that's contracts and long-term contracts. When you're talking about payments and ERP or enterprise level clients, big clients, a lot of processing, a lot of money flows through there, and there's a lot that depends on it, right? So what you have to be careful of is when you sign up with a payment service provider of what is in your contract. The general term for any industry contract is going to be a 3-year term agreement. Some will do a rolling 1 year. Some do a rolling 3-year. This is picked up from a competitor's contract, and basically, if you see in here, I'll roll so 3 years here, and if you don't complete the 90-day termination within 90 days, you get an additional 3 years tacked onto it. So essentially, you're signing up for a 6-year term in this type of contract, right? So it's really worth having somebody that knows, look at it, help you through it before you ever sign anything. Always make sure that you're working with somebody that you trust, somebody that you know. The way that we look at this is if we're doing our job right, we don't have to sign you up for a long-term contract. We're always month to month, and all you have to do is communicate with us. So standard term, 3-year agreement, but we do month to month, and anybody that you sign up with should be able to do a month to month. So always ask for that. When it comes to those long-term contracts, if you get into these, a lot of times you miss certain things like indemnification. Indemnification is essentially a insurance policy. What you generally want is a mutual indemnification, covers your company, covers the payment service provider, and everybody's good at the end of the day, right? If it's a one-sided indemnification, doesn't say mutual here, just says indemnification. So you're essentially indemnifying them from any sort of anything that could go wrong. You want mutual all of the time. Exclusivity down here. Exclusivity, what that means is that when you sign up for a payment service provider, you essentially can't use another payment service provider. And how they know if you're doing this is you generally have a level that you process at, a volume of transactions and dollar volume that you process at. If for a certain amount of time that goes down, in this case, in this contract, it's 50%, right? If it decreases by more than 50%, you are held to basically in this contract, whatever they want you to be held to. So penalties, right? You want to be careful. You want to ask all the questions. What are the penalties? What am I signing up for? And in the next slide, we'll talk a little bit more about exclusivity. So exclusivity and liquidated damages kind of go hand in hand. Liquidated damages is a contractual provision requiring a party in breach to pay a predetermined amount, right? And so what that means for you or your client is that when you're processing with a merchant service provider, and say you make them $400 a month. If you sign up for that 3-year term agreement and you hate it after 12 months, you still have 24 months that you have to make up for, right? So it's 24 months on the remaining piece of the contract times $400 a month. So it could be a several $1,000 hit. Plus, if they've paid anything for you to be integrated, they've helped you upgrade, they've done anything, it's a lot of times open-ended. So what you want to do is you really do want to have somebody that is a pro look at this, or have a merchant services attorney take a peek at it. We're happy to help. We do have merchant services attorneys that are happy to help. Feel free to reach out if you do have contractual questions, and we'll point you in the right direction. Another really important piece, and what's most important to most people up front, is what they're paying, right? So how to negotiate low rates. It's fairly simple, but if you don't know, you don't know, right? So the first thing that you want to do is you want to know the average rates and fees of your industry, right? So kind of an average of what the others are being charged. Always require an annual rate review, right? So month-to-month contract, but if you're there, you like it, after a year, require them to go back with you, comb through the merchant statement that you have, and give you a rate review. See if there's anything that they can do better. We do that for every one of our clients. All they have to do is ping us at the end of the year, and we're happy to do it. Never, ever accept a tiered pricing structure. It's the least transparent way of pricing. It's the oldest, most antiquated pricing structure. And so what you want to make sure of is that you're either going with a flat rate pricing model or an interchange of pass-through or cost plus pricing model. Then at least you know what you're paying to the processor at all times, right? So always request to work with somebody that's important. Manager is generally the best one. You want to work with somebody that's important, that can help you, that can walk you through the process and can make decisions. Not a commissioned sales employee, right? A lot of times they're incentivized for to make the sale, and that's it. So always work with a manager. Apologies, it froze on me again. Perfect. Okay. Grossly overstated savings. What you're going to find, especially in the ERP channel, is when you get a merchant service provider that wants to do a proposal for you, you're going to get a lot of grossly overstated savings. And what that means is they're saying, okay, we do interchange optimization. A lot of times, your business-to-business cards will be much cheaper than they are today, and your level of savings based on that is going to be huge. In most cases, what you're going to see if you do a lot of business-to-business transactions is about 20 to 30% of those card types, business-to-business transactions, can be optimized. It's generally a very nice savings, but what you'll see in a lot of these quotes is that the merchant service provider is overstating the amount of cards that can be optimized so they can show you a much larger savings, which gets people excited. They sign up. When it comes out in the wash, it's generally not what they were promised, right? So if you look here, in this case, out of 693 cards, they're saying 602 of them were optimized for a total of $688,000, $2,107 savings a month just in optimization. So you see here that they're showing almost $4,000 a month in savings, which is, when it comes out in the wash, it's generally not true. So just beware of, grossly overstated savings. Make sure that you're asking the questions, that you're able to do the math, and we're happy to walk you through any of the interchange programs so you can understand and make more sense of it. Support. Support in any business obviously is going to be a cornerstone. For us, it is a huge deal, right? And that's also why we have the Fortis guarantee of supporting your business regardless of if you're one of our clients. We're happy to do it. And at the end of the day, if you choose a different provider, we're still here for you. We're not going to leave you hanging. We're happy to do screen shares. We're going to take care of you regardless. All of our solutions provide a 24/7 US-based support at no charge. The partners, our clients, always have our direct numbers, so we will make sure that even if we can't help you directly, we will point you in the right direction. We will get you on the phone with a live person that will help until your needs are met or your problem is solved.
Hey, Maya,
Yeah.
We're having a trouble hearing you. It sounds like you're underwater. I'm wondering if that's a GoToWebinar issue, or maybe if you switch to maybe computer audio, or...
How about now, Adrian? Is it better?
It's like an echo.
Let me see.
Maybe try your speakerphone or another mechanism. I'm not sure. But we have had some feedback with the audience that they're having trouble understanding you.
Got you. Okay. Is it still having trouble?
Yeah, it's almost like a tunnel. But if we can't correct it, it's fine. I mean, we can understand. We can make it out. It's just not the best audio.
Okay. How about now? Is it a little better?
A little bit. Just go ahead and proceed.
Perfect. Okay. I apologize, guys. This is I've reset the router. I apologize. So we do have a direct contact also with our ERP experience team. We have a booking site. You can set up a support call with them anytime you need. We will provide that as well. We are proactive when it comes to PCI compliance assistance. We always try to do the annual questionnaire walkthrough to help eliminate non-compliance fees and make sure that you are compliant, because those are the fees that are the most unnecessary fees out there. You will again have access to that team's calendar. You can set up a meeting, booking a live demo, or support booking if you need it. You're also more than welcome to call us directly. So right now we're running a summer sign-up special that runs from June 1st to August 31st. And basically how that works is every step up in processing that you see there, you will get an additional $500, right? And we do it via ACH. If you want more information about that, feel free to reach out and ask. But again, it's up to $1,500, and it depends on the volume and when you start processing. We always offer this up, the Fortis Challenge. Basically, what we do is we ask for you to send your 2 most recent merchant statements. We guarantee that we will save you money, or we will pay you $500 if we can. I can tell you today that there has been 2 merchants that I haven't been able to save money for over the years, and they had a very special setup. So not likely that that will be paying the $500. We will be saving you money more than likely. So we're happy to take a look at it. Happy to do a proposal for you, show you what we can do as far as saving you money there. The contact information for myself and Robert is on the screen. If you would like to see a live demo of the product, we're happy to set that up for you. Reach out to one of us, and we will get that scheduled. I do apologize for the audio. I'm going to turn it over to Adrian and CertaPro. And once again, thanks a lot for sitting in on this, and I apologize for the audio.
That's okay, Maya. It's technology. It comes and goes, unfortunately. But we appreciate you participating today, and we're going to go ahead and Raphael, it's your turn.
Great, awesome. Thank you, Adrian. Let me just share my screen here. Great. Well, hi, everyone. And I wanted to start by thanking everybody for providing us with an opportunity to present our e-link solution here today. Thank you very much, Adrian, and for passing on the mic. My name is Raphael Avetisian, and I'm the account executive here at CertaPro. And I'm joined today by Nick Young, who is our e-link product manager. And he will take us through the integration and the product portion of the presentation. A little bit about us. Well, we're a Sage partner. We're located in Los Angeles, California, and we've been in business for over 10 years. We specialize in integrating Sage ERP with Magento and WooCommerce platforms. We're a Sage-centric partner, which means we have a full team of consultants and developers in-house, and we can provide any custom solution that is required to meet our clients' needs. Our E-Link solution is compatible with the following Sage 100, 300, 500, and X3. And now I'm very excited to announce that our E-Link solution also works with WooCommerce. It's the same great functionality that you've come to expect with Adobe Commerce that would actually be presenting the product tour on today, only with WooCommerce and WordPress. Our E-Link forms a two-way sync between Sage and both Magento and WooCommerce. It handles all of the following connection points that you see on the screen here. Your Sage customer information can now be updated to your web store or portal 24/7, 365 days a year. Online orders can be created in Sage and be ready to be processed within minutes. This is all completed without running manual batch jobs or any manual export and import procedures. It's actually fully automated. The data securely flows between your Sage ERP and the web store in encrypted files, making your company's backend completely anonymous and secure. Because the web store is hosted outside of your Sage environment, the customer never actually has any direct access to Sage. And as I've mentioned prior, our differentiator is that E-Link forms a deep integration between Sage and WooCommerce platform that allows customization in accordance with customers' needs. We've built out software for both sides of WooCommerce and Sage from the ground up, and doing so gives us flexibility to create a plethora of modifications and customizations for your customers. We create and author everything in-house, and we only build these applications for Sage. We are Sage-centric, as I've mentioned prior, and this is all we do. Having an online store means you're open for business at all the time. Now you can have an integrated e-commerce solution with your Sage ERP. Certapro's E-Link software integration makes approachable and affordable for your business to have an online presence for both B2B and B2C. So how does E-Link actually work? Well, E-Link is two parts. One is an API that runs on top of Sage Server that allows us to talk to Sage using the Sage Business Objects. So with our E-Link API, if you tell it to create an order, it will actually create the order as if you're tabbing through all the fields in Sage, not just putting data in the database. If you have any business logic built into Sage, we'll be following all of the same business logic with our E-Link API. And before, again, we go ahead and do the product tour with Adobe eCommerce, our standard version, I also wanted to touch base on why we have decided to integrate with WooCommerce. Well, WooCommerce is an e-commerce plugin for WordPress, and WordPress is a free and open source content management system. It originally rose to popularity as a blogging tool in the 90s. From those origins, it has come to power more than around more than 30% of websites on the internet in 2022. This includes 62% of the 100 fastest growing firms in the US. More than 455 million sites run on WordPress today. Companies love WordPress for its flexibility and how easy it is to use. WordPress makes it possible to build a website with little to no coding experience. WordPress is versatile and can be used for anything ranging from personal blog to a pretty sophisticated online store. Given its long-term popularity, there's a wide network of WordPress developers and a wide array of themes and plugins for users to choose from. WordPress uses simple SEO-friendly code and has some built-in SEO tools that help companies rank well in online searches. WordPress core software is very secure because WordPress is an open source. Like the actual code is audited regularly by hundreds of developers. That means any bugs are identified and fixed fairly quickly. Updates are also are also easy. WordPress updates are implemented in a matter of seconds. You can install security updates without worrying that it will harm your site or delete the content. And without further ado, I would like to pass the mic to Nick and have him walk you through the technical portion of the presentation in Adobe. Nick, if you can please take over.
Oh, that's great. All right, let's see. Okay, I think everything's working. My screen also froze for a moment, so this seems to be a GoToMeeting thing today. Okay, thanks, Ralph. So I'm going to show you our solution with Magento. Like Ralph said, we're just rolling out our WordPress version of this as well. So everything you'll see today also works with WordPress the exact same way. This ERP's subject is kind of customer portals. Our solution will give you both B2B and B2C functionality. So I'm just going to roll through kind of all of the basic functionality. So this is a fresh copy of Magento that we installed, and then we installed our eLink extensions here, and then we installed our eLink enhancement in Sage. So I'm just going to go to a products page. And if we get to the products, all of the information is coming from Sage, so we can bring over, in Sage, you can check the product to be internet enabled. And once you do that, we automatically go into Magento, we create that product, we bring over whatever information is available in Sage. So we'll bring over the product name, we'll bring over all of the pricing. So all of the custom pricing and price levels and contract pricing you can set up in Sage, all of that will automatically come over to Magento or WooCommerce. And as your customers logged in and they're looking at their products, they see the actual price as it is set up in Sage. So you don't have to worry about setting up your price in multiple places or having it expire on the web and not be the same as what it's in Sage. You just manage all of your pricing in Sage and everything comes over to the web automatically. We do bring over inventory levels from Sage. So you can control in stock and out of stock on the website based on the actual inventory of the product in Sage. And then Magento and WooCommerce both have options for overriding that functionality by individual products. So we can go to individual products and say, I always want this product to be in stock on the web, regardless of what the actual inventory is in Sage, because maybe there's a quick turnaround on that product, or it's a custom product that's never going to be in stock in Sage. So on the website, you have some flexibility about how you want the stock to work on individual products as well. For this, I will just select a couple of options here. So we'll just grab a couple of these shirts, add them to our cart, and then we'll go to the checkout process. Again, I'm showing you B2C functionality. We'll get to B2B functionality in a minute, where we'll show you the customer portal and another way to order, more like a PO type form as well. So once I get to the checkout, we'll notice that we have some address information already for this customer. We do bring all the customer information over from Sage into the web when the customer signs up, and it links their account. So if you have an existing relationship with your customer, which for B2B applications is very useful, we'll bring all of their address information that's already verified and used in Sage into their account. So all they have to do is select their addresses during the checkout, and they don't have to go enter all new addresses and things like that. So I'll just use the default address that we have here, and we'll continue on to the payments. So for payments, we add two extensions with our solution. One is our credit card extension. So no matter who you're using as your processor, so if you're using Fortis, who's with us today, we'll be able to process the pre-authorization during the checkout, and then we'll manage all of the transaction tokens in the background when we're exporting that order to Sage, so that this is all PCI compliant. We're not actually storing any credit card information online. We're not actually transferring any credit card information between Magento and Sage, only the tokens that go with that transaction itself. Your customers can manage all of their own cards online, and those, again, the card information is not being stored on your server. It's being stored in the vault of the processor. So Fortis Vault is where the card information will be stored, and then we keep all of the tokens in their account here where they can go manage that stuff. So for here, I already have a saved credit card, but if we needed to, we could add a new credit card directly in the checkout, and then we can save that for further use also. Which we'll show you in a moment. When we get to the customer portal, we can go back and pay open invoices as well if we're checking out like on terms account. So, along with the credit card, we also add our bill me payment method, and our bill me payment method is controlled by the customer's payment terms in Sage as well as the credit hold. So you can have it so that you select which terms are going to be allowed to check out without a credit card online. And those customers will see this bill me option when they go to checkout. If they do not have a terms that's in that selected set, then this bill me will completely disappear and they'll be required to provide payment during the checkout. So it's a really good way for your B2B customers to be able to check out on account and then go pay their invoices later. So I will check out with the credit card so you can see how that goes over to Sage. And we'll go ahead and place our $68 order. Now, we're using what I call live syncing. So this is going to actually use a, this is completely disconnected from Sage in that if Sage is down, Sage is not available, or your internet connection at your office isn't available, some reason this can't connect to Sage, the website will stay up 99.999% of the time wherever you're hosting it, and your customers can still go on, they can still look at products, they can still place orders, they can still make payments on their account, they can do everything that they can normally do without being interrupted by that Sage outage. As soon as Sage comes up, then we'll start syncing that information in the background automatic again. So here you can see I placed that order and it went into this pending sales orders section in our account portal. And pending orders are ones that are sitting in the queue, basically waiting to go to Sage. So this order has been received. We just have a web order number, which is the same as will be on their confirmation email. And this is just waiting to be sent to Sage. If I go ahead and refresh this page, you can see that order will have moved from pending orders, and now it's down here in accepted orders. And it's got an actual Sage sales order number along with the confirmation number or web order number. And then we have all the Sage information that came back. So if I go view this order, I can see all of the order as it's actually sitting in Sage. So if we go into Sage and we update products or pricing or anything, that will be reflected on the portal as well. So that will sync back to the web and the customer will see those changes immediately in their account on that sales order. We are using custom tables, and these are all custom built extensions for Magento. And the reason we're not using the built-in Magento sales order functionality is we get a couple advantages here. So on the web, you can see all of the account information regardless of where the transactions originated. So you can see I have a sales order here that doesn't even have a web order number. I can still come and view that sales order. I can view the invoices for that sales order. If I go and look at that sales order, this product isn't even available for sale on the web. So we don't even have to set up the products on the web, and the customer can still see all of their order history and order information on their account. And here you can see I have an invoice for this particular sales order, and if it had a tracking number, that would come over as well. So you're seeing an entire view of your account regardless of where the transactions come from. So for this order, we'll go in and we'll actually bring that up in Sage. And we've added some fields to the Sage order table. So you can see that web order number that was on the web, and some of our customers call this confirmation number. You have the ability to call it whatever you want. Your customer service will still be able to look up that order number, look up that order by that number as well. So this is what will be on the customer's email that they get sent, because we don't yet have the Sage sales order number. So your customer service can still look up the order by whatever information the customer can provide. And you can see when I open this order, we did the credit card pre-authorization here. This will go through the standard process as if you entered this credit card directly into Sage. So during your invoicing process, that's when it'll actually do the capture on the credit card. You have some options. You can do the capture directly on the web. We can bring over that captured payment on the sales order as well. But most of the customers in the US will always want to do a pre-authorization because of shipping rules. So Like Rolf was talking about earlier, we're using the Sage Business Objects when we create this order. So our solution will go put in the customer number. It will automatically fill in all of the customer's defaults, and then we go and override the information that we need based on the actual order that's coming from the web. So if you build in custom scripts or logic to your sales order entry form, we're going to follow all of that scripts and logic. So you don't have to worry about having to redo all of that logic in 2 places. Here's the addresses that we had selected when we checked it out, and these are the 2 shirts that I had selected in that checkout. On the payment tab, you can see we bring over the credit card transaction. Again, we're just transferring the tokens over, so we're not actually storing the credit card information or dealing with passing credit card information insecurely, across the internet. So we will manually invoice this. If you're using any sort of shipping software like Starship or anything else that's integrated with Sage, and they put their tracking in the standard tracking table, you'll get automatic integration with that shipping software because we're going to be pulling all of the tracking from here. So if you're using shipping data entry to create your invoices, it's still going to work the same exact way. So I will go ahead and grab that order that we just created. I will put in maybe a couple of fake tracking numbers so you can see how that works. And we'll actually put demo here just so you can see it's not faked. Let's see, demo 1, 2, 3, and hit OK. And then we'll just process this through. So there's some options on whether you want to bring the pending invoices or just the posted invoices back to the web, right? This is set to bring all invoices, including pending, back to the customer. There's also a lot of options as far as how you want all of the modules to sync, as far as maybe you need your inventory up to date, almost live, so that you can have that be syncing every 1 minute. And then you can have sales orders sync maybe every 5 minutes and invoices once a day. Like you can custom set your schedules for your syncing of all the individual modules. Every time we sync, we're only grabbing information that's changed since the last time we did the sync or the last record that we got in a sync. So you don't have to worry about, if you're grabbing invoices, we're not going and grabbing the entire database worth of invoices and dealing with, clogging up your internet connection at your office or anything like that. We're just grabbing the stuff that we need to update the website. So if we refresh this sales order screen, you should see now that sales order has an invoice associated with it. If we view the sales order again, down at the bottom, you can see the invoice along with those 2 tracking numbers that I added. And then we also have invoice views and an invoice grid. So if we go to my invoices, you can search your invoices by, various information, including the items. I want to know what invoices I purchased an item on. If you're using serialization, we can do serial and lot lookup here as well. So your customers have the ability to come and really see their own account information and view and print information as well. So all of our screens have print versions that you can customize to look like your actual printed invoice form or sales order form. And the customer can come in, they can actually print copies of their transactions without having to, call your customer service and have that stuff sent over. So it really saves customer service time. Now that you have an invoice, say this wasn't paid on credit card, you want your customers to also be able to make payments on that invoice. We have our payments extension for Magento and WooCommerce also. Customers can go in, they can see all their payment history. Same thing as sales orders or invoices. Invoices, we show AR invoices that don't even have sales orders. Same thing with payments, we show payments that come directly into Sage, regardless of where they originated. So this is a check sent in directly from the customer. They can come in, they can see the invoices they paid and how much they paid on those individual invoices. We also have the ability to make payments online, however, so customer can choose to make a payment, can use their already saved credit cards. If the processor supports ACH, then they can also do payments by ACH. And we will bring these in as a cash receipt on the account. So I'm going to use that same saved credit card that we used for the checkout. The difference between this and the checkout is in the checkout, we do a pre-authorization and then bring that into the sales order. Here, we're going to actually do a capture at the time they make the payment, so you don't have to worry about whether the funds are available when the cash receipt goes to get posted. So And then we can select from our open invoices. And if you allow partial payments, the customer can select how much they actually want to pay. So say I'm paying $1,100 here instead of the full $1,350. And then I can choose to place that payment. I can pay multiple invoices with a single cash receipt. So if I had multiple invoices to pay, it would just line them all up here. I can put the amounts that I want to pay on individual ones and place the payment. It's going to do a one charge on the card. So if I'm paying 5 invoices, I still only have one charge on my card, but that will come in with the cash receipt already applied to the invoices as I set up on my screen. So customers really in control of making their own payments and deciding how those payments get applied to their invoices. We'll let that sink and I'll show you a couple of other things. Since we're talking about customer portals, you may not have an actual store set up, but you may want your customers to be able to order products. So we have our quick order entry form, and this is integrated with Sage for your availability and your pricing. So a customer can come in, they can select from products, they can do quick searches on SKU or name. We can add additional fields here to search on as well. They can select the products that they want to add to the order form. They could also directly type in the SKU. So if they already know the products that they're going to order and they just type in the SKU, we'll do the lookup, bring all the product information back here. And then they can select the quantities that they want to order. And then they get a quick availability check and then all of their custom pricing from Sage. Even if you had tiered pricing, they could roll over and see, what the prices are for the individual quantities that they could order as well. If they click add to cart and checkout, this is going to add all of these products to the cart and go directly to the checkout. So it really bypasses the whole shopping experience, and it's just a quick way for them to do basically a PO entry type order and get their products, into your system. So once they ordered and they've made their payments, like if we go back to the payments, you can see that payment is up here in pending payments. The sales orders, that moved down to the accepted section once it moved into Sage. This one, like I said, because we're not, this may not be posted and applied to the customer's balance yet, and the invoice balance wouldn't be updated until this actually gets into posting. All we do is we'll bring back the reference from Sage until you actually post it, and then it'll move down to the history. So if we go into Sage and we go to accounts receivable, and we go to the cash receipts entry, you can see we have this batch from today, from right now. And if we look at the actual deposits in that batch, we have just the one that we made. We'll bring up the deposit detail for that. And you can see I made an $1,100 payment. And if I go to the lines on that, you can see it posted the $1,100 to that one invoice I selected. Invoice will have an open balance of $250. And then if we go to the payments tab, same thing, we have all the payment information. So we bring in that credit card transaction as if you entered it directly into Sage. So there's no, worrying about copying credit card information back and forth between like a virtual terminal and Sage. With integrations like Fortis, this is all just automatic, and all of the GL entries are handled as well. So we have some other extensions for the web that help with custom cases. Like we have a My Products extension where if you have customer specific products where only a customer or a subset of customers can see those products, you can set those up inside of Sage, and then all of the customers' products will be filtered based on the ones that are assigned to them. So it's very good for like customer specific or proprietary products where only one customer is allowed to see that particular product. And then we have some functionality for multiple customers or salespersons where one login on the web can be attached to multiple Sage accounts. So out of the box, you get multiple accounts on the web that can be attached to a single Sage account. So say you have 5 people that do ordering, each one can have their own account with their own credit cards. But we also have the ability to have one login that can be attached to like 5 different Sage accounts. So maybe you have a parent-child relationship with your Sage accounts where one person is doing the accounts payable stuff for those 5 accounts, but there's 5 different locations where they need to do ordering and have all of the information separate. So we have those kind of options as well. There's some other options available that we don't really have time to go over today. So I'm going to go ahead and pass this back to Rolf just to wrap up and give you our contact information. But if you are looking for any specific information or you want to see a personalized demo, please reach out to us.
And I just want to say, everybody, enjoy the rest of your week and take care.
Thanks, Adrian.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Adrian.
My pleasure.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you
Thank you,
all.
Adrian.